It's time for some more openings of some anime series. Today we are doing Sword Art Online. I'm going to give some context on my knowledge of Sword Art Online in a second. And I think that's often important. I often do that at the start of these videos so that you guys know like how much I know about the series and like what my perceptions of it are and stuff before we get into it. But also... I would like to say that like with series like this, especially when there's like some spin-off series and there's like the it's not just like one show, and sometimes when it's old, like slightly older, this isn't Sword Art Online isn't that old, but I'm just using as an example. Some series are slightly older and it makes it more difficult. The OPs, like finding out like, okay, it's this OP, then this OP, then this OP, like sometimes that's more difficult. Luckily this one seems a little bit more simple, but I still don't know if I got all the OPs correctly. So if I missed out on some OPs or I got the wrong versions of the OPs at certain points, just you can politely let me know, like, hey, you missed this one. And also check the comments to make sure like a bunch of other people aren't saying it as well, because I don't need a bunch of comments saying the same thing. But you know, if there's stuff that I missed, I'm sorry about that. Just let me know. And if people really want me to do whatever like that I missed, then let me know. And also, just so that people know, the versions I'll be watching today are like the, you know, upscaled 4K 60 FPS versions, just because they're the ones that I can find easily and consistently that seem to have them labeled properly. So I know, you know, there are mixed feelings on that sort of stuff. I'm not a huge fan of the fact that people do like this, but it is unfortunately the versions that often stay up on YouTube are these 4K 60 FPS versions. So that's what I'm watching. Anyway, Sword Art Online. So as context, I haven't seen Sword Art Online asterisks. Back when before I even started getting into anime properly, I remember I did watch some of the first season of Sword Art Online, and this was like early, like maybe when it was first coming out. I'm not quite sure. When did Sword Art Online first start coming out? Sword Art Online, like the anime I'm talking about. Okay, Sword Art Online, the anime started in 2012. So it might have been around 2012 is when this is when I started to actually watch it. But essentially, I was shown it by someone else at the time. They showed me the first part of the first season or whatever. And I remember at the time, I wasn't a huge fan because I really liked the concept, but I felt like it didn't give me it didn't hit the interesting parts of the concept that I wanted it to hit, and it didn't give me much dopamine and stuff. But at the same time, at that time, like I hadn't watched much anime other than the stuff that I like sort of watched as a kid, which is just like Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon and stuff like that, you know. I didn't watch that much anime. I kind of didn't know much about it, and yeah, I don't know. I also probably didn't give it too much of a chance. These days, I have kind of not watched it because, you know, there's a classic like counter, like everyone talks about, oh, Sword Art Online is an example of like I don't know, sometimes it's an example of a bad anime, sometimes it's an example of a severely mediocre anime, sometimes it's like, oh, it's a show that has some great moments but is ultimately this or that or whatever, right? I don't really care. Like I'm not gonna do any sweeping judgments on the show. I haven't watched enough of it to have any judgments on the show at all. So I don't really know what I think of it. I know that people are often really quick to call things shit or mid or whatever, and often, you know, I don't trust those people. The sorts of people that critique a lot of popular shows and anime and stuff are the people that I don't trust. I don't trust their media literacy that much. I'm someone who I like a lot of stuff, as you can see on this channel. So, you know, Sword Art Online fans, I haven't seen the show, but I've got your back, I guess. Anyway, so I don't really know too much what to expect. I know that Sword Art Online is like, it's the classic, like, you die in the game, you die in real life type thing. So it's like an MMO that they're living in, like a virtual reality MMO, but they can feel it, I guess. Other than that, I mean, I really don't know much more than that. I think that's the base concept of the show. I don't know how it progressed throughout the series. I know some of the characters by design, but not really by name. And I'm pretty sure I know some of the dub actors. Like, I'm pretty sure Bryce Papenbrook plays the main character and stuff in Sword Art Online, doesn't he? And that's where my knowledge ends, I think. Oh, and I think also LiSA does some of these Sword Art Online openings. I'm sure I've probably heard some of these songs, like 1 or 2 of these songs over time, but I'm not sure. Anyway, sorry for the big, long introduction before we actually get into the OP parts of it, but let's jump into the OP parts of it. If you want to watch the full-length reaction, you can just sync it up with your own footage. It'll be on my Patreon account in the description below. You can check it out there. Otherwise, you'll get the edited version and stuff, but yeah, anyway, let's jump into opening 1 of Sword Art Online. Oh, I absolutely know this song. This is a LiSA song, right? That little piano bit at the start. Okay, the Matrix around him. Oh man, I mean, I love the song, but it's LiSA. Why wouldn't I love the song? Okay, so it's mostly about the main 2 characters. Yeah, I definitely know the song. Okay, fighting demon lords. She's got like a rapier type weapon, looks like. Pretty cool. Pretty cute character designs as well. Aw, is that in the real world or is that in the game world? That they were just eating together. I guess I don't know if I imagine they can't. Can they leave the game world? I don't imagine they can. In my mind, it was one of those shows where it's like, you went into the game world, and I'm saying in my mind, remember, I also watched the first like half of season 1, but again, that was like 10 years ago, so I can't remember. But from like, I thought it was like, oh, we stepped into this world, but now we can't log out. We're trapped in here. We can't log out no matter how hard we try. I feel like that's what it is. But then I was just seeing that image of them eating together, and they're not like in gamified clothes. So I just kind of assumed that this was, and this house kind of looks modern-ish. Like, it doesn't look what I'd imagine in the game world to look like, but I don't know. I really don't know. But anyway, cool. Nice opening. The song's fucking amazing, but it's LiSA, and that's an iconic LiSA song as well. So I definitely knew that song just because I think it's been on like, I mean, first of all, I listen to LiSA casually a decent amount of time. I've definitely gone to her Spotify and just clicked shuffle and gone through her songs and stuff. So I know LiSA's music just in general, but also I think I've probably heard the song on like so many different cover things over the years, like top anime openings or anime concerts and stuff. Like, I've heard the song a bunch. So, but it's a great song, fucking great song. Cool opening, very enjoyable. Okay, I'm not doing the ending. I'm doing OP2 now. Okay, I don't think I know this song, and this doesn't sound like LiSA. Oh, I thought it was going to do the same tune there for a second. It almost sounded like it was going in the same direction. Oh, no. Who's dying? What the fuck? Is that the main girl that was in the hospital bed? Or someone random? I feel like I'm getting spoiled by the OP, but I don't know. It also looks like they're in a real world now. Did they leave the game? Wait, that was cool. He was looking in the mirror and saw, I guess, his game character? Maybe? Okay. Cool fairy type. Ah, he's got a little fairy of his own. Oh, she looks like Mikasa. Or from the back, she did. With the red scarf and the black hair. Okay, alright. Pretty cool. So that looks like, to me, that maybe they've come out of the game world, and a significant part of the season is them, you know, out in the real world. It kind of reminds me of, you know, in Squid Game, minor spoilers for Squid Game, the middle of Squid Game, but you know, in Squid Game, when they're, when basically they all, like, after the first game, they're like, what the fuck is going on? We're not doing this because we're all gonna die. And the Squid Game people are like, yeah, well, you know, you can leave if you just want to vote to leave, and people voted to leave, and then they left, and then we spent basically an episode like out in the normal world, and then they had reasons basically to come back to Squid Game. That is what I kind of saw here, where it felt like it felt like they had left the game, but then they're gonna have to. There's gonna be a reason that they have to get back into the game, because the second half of the OP was like in the game. It looks like. But that's just my prediction based on what I'm seeing. But it does look like the main girl. I couldn't tell if that was a main girl. I'm not even going to go back and look just in case I spoil myself. But it looks like maybe the main girl got herself hurt in the first like part of the show. And now in the second part of the show, she's hurt. So I don't know. Seems pretty cool though. Song was decent. Didn't have any problems with the song. So now we are going to be moving on to OP3, except my order is of, hang on, sorry. I've ordered this really shittily in my tabs, but I figured it out now. So that, because I almost watched opening 9 right now. Okay, opening 3. Okay. Okay, don't mind the song. What the fuck is with that guy? Looks like Dr. Doom. Okay, well look, she's fine here. Maybe it's all good. Oh no, some ghosts. Are those ghosts because they're dead? Holy shit, this guy's very villainous. And they're showing him a lot. Oh, another fairy. Cute. This is cool, this choreography here. Oh my god, I didn't know there were guns. And this is just Star Wars. This is legit Star Wars. Honestly, pretty cool. Did they change settings? Yeah, I didn't know there were lightsabers and sniper rifles in this show, but cool. I liked that bit where it was like, you know how in Star Wars they're always deflecting the lasers with the lightsabers and stuff. They were doing that here, and it seemed pretty cool, you know? Also seemed less focused on who I considered to be the main 2 characters, and there were 2 other characters that were focused on here, so that was certainly interesting enough. But yeah, cool. I enjoyed that one. I thought that was good. The song was good. And yeah, I mean, overall, I had a good time. So let's move on now to opening 4, episode Caliber. Okay. All right. Oh, there's a lot of information there. Can I read it? No, I can't. Okay, it's like seeing all their player profiles. This is kind of cool. This looks like this would be the opening to a visual novel version of the game. Oh my god. It looks like we're kind of back in the fantasy setting. Yeah, using bows and arrows and swords and stuff. Oh, I see an actual like health bars and buff things above their head. Oh, I like this peaceful part. Cool structure to this song. Oh, that one ended suddenly. I wasn't ready for it. Okay. Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, it feels like we're going back maybe into the fantasy stuff now, because like the last one was like lightsabers and sniper rifles, and this one was again like swords and magic, and this one like really lent into the fact that it was a game though. Like it started with player profiles and like all this information on them, and it looks like in front of people there was like almost like a stage select thing like that was floating in front of them, and we saw health bars, we saw little buffs and debuffs above their heads. So definitely seemed like it was leaning way more into the game side of the show, which is cool, because sometimes I feel like shows will do the game, like it'll be like, oh, we're in a game, but then after the start of it, it doesn't feel like a game anymore. It feels like they're just in a fantasy world after that. So like, I guess if you keep leaning into the fact that it's a game, that would probably be interesting, but I don't know. Anyway, we're doing opening 5 now. Okay, episode Mother's Rosario? Is this the same song? I think it is, right? Just different visuals? Yeah, okay. Yeah, they changed up the visuals. Whoa. The animation's pretty solid. For these openings, at least. Like, there's a lot of movement in these. Like, look at all that movement. And this is focused on different characters, it seems like. And they're like facing a fiery demon when the other ones were facing things in an ice tundra. So is it like two different parties and we focus on different parties at different parts of the show? I don't know. That seems like a cool concept if that's the case. Animation's pretty solid. I'm impressed with some of this animation. Okay, and it ended suddenly again. All right, so the way that I'm thinking about it is you would do like, because people tend to like in these opening videos when I try to like break down what I think might be happening in the show, because sometimes apparently I get it super close, but sometimes obviously I'm like super off. People are like, what? No, that person like I'll be like, oh my god, that person must have died because we haven't seen them, and people are like, they're right there in every opening or whatever, you know, like I'll make these sweeping statements that are super wrong anyway. But this is like two OPs that are the same song and some of the same visuals and the same style of visuals, but different characters within them, and they're doing slightly different things. So I would think you'd have like a section of the show that's like, oh, here's these characters doing these things at this time, and here's what these other characters are doing at the same time, and they like meet up. I don't know. That's kind of how I would think of it. So it's like two different parties, and maybe they're built up of like characters that you've gotten to know in previous seasons, but then they were split for some reason, and then we're like focusing on their relationships with one another separately. And there's like tension as you're watching one party where you don't quite know what's happening to the other party at the same time. It's like in Critical Role Campaign 3 recently. There was the party was split, and they did like their own separate adventure away from each other before coming back together, you know? So that's the vibe that I was getting from this OP, but I don't know. But if that is the case, or if it's something even remotely similar to that, the idea of having different openings for it is kind of cool. I like that. Okay, cool. That was opening 5. So now let us move on to the next one. So this is opening 6. I'm watching this on a different website because it was not on YouTube. Project Alicization? I don't know how to pronounce that. Alicization? Arishizel. Ah, damn. Oh, I like this song. Is this LiSA? It sounds kind of like LiSA. Whoa. I think it is LiSA. She's hitting the LiSA notes. They're very bright visuals for this one. Like all the colors. Oh yeah, it's definitely LiSA. Pretty cool. I don't recognize any of these characters really. It feels like a slightly different show. Oh. Good note. I think that's the same main character. Oh, cool. Very cool. I like the bass line. And there's this like blonde dude. Was he there before? I don't remember him, certainly. So feels like maybe he's new to this whole thing. But cool. I enjoyed that. That sounded like it was a LiSA song again. I could check if it's a LiSA song. I'm sure I'll have it written somewhere. Sword Art Online opening 6. Yeah, Alicization. Yeah, LiSA. Adamas is what it's called. So Alicization is Alicization. I'm just trying to pronounce the title of the thing correctly, but it doesn't matter. But cool. I always love a good LiSA song. I do think it probably fits this show. Like it fit the first OP really well, and it fit that one well. So I think her voice. I mean, her voice just fits shonens in general. You know, like it just when there's the cool fighting scenes, a LiSA song is always gonna back it up well, always. So anyway, let's move on to opening number 7. Here we go. Alright. Okay. Definitely like this song. Yeah, we got a lot of focus on this guy now. Is he a good friend? Is he like a apprentice? He looks like he could be an apprentice character. And I don't know what Alicization is. I don't know if it's gonna be a prequel or... Oh yeah, this song's great. Whoa! Damn, I mean, these are like weird Dark Souls-y bosses. Classic master who can fight with one hand. Oh, jeez. They've got their own. That's kind of cool. The handshake animated there. I didn't mind that. It's cool animating a handshake like that, and they put a lot of love into that handshake animation as well. So I appreciate that a lot. And then they went their separate ways after doing that, which is cool as well. It implies like trust, you know, like we're doing this thing, we trust each other, we're gonna go off and do whatever we need to do, and then we know we'll come back together. So this next one is Sword Art Online Alternative Gun Gale Online opening. I don't know. First of all, I don't know if this one comes before the ones that we just saw or after. I kind of didn't have that properly when I was sorting out the tabs. I wasn't sure. So forgive me if this is out of order, but I don't know what this is. I've never heard of Gun Gale Online before. I've heard of Alicization, but I haven't heard of Gun Gale Online. So I don't know if this is a full spin-off or if this is like just part of the... I mean, it's called Sword Art Online Alternative, which makes me think it's a spin-off, but I'm not sure. Let's see it. All right. Oh, that's a long title. Okay, weird pink bunny girl. Is that her in real life? I really don't know if their avatars are supposed to look super different from their real life versions. Lots of pink. She's depressed. Oh yeah, just got a pink P90. All right. Man, I did not expect to see guns in this show. And she seems like the villain. And I didn't expect the main character to have a pink P90. Cool, laser sight in the air. Oh, another laser sight in the air. You made the moon red. Turn it back. All right, cool. Cool. That was a bit of a strange one. I liked it. I think it was kind of cool, but I don't know. Like, what's it? I mean, it feels like it's a one-off small story probably, because I don't think there are any other OPs for this Gun Gale Online thing. And I didn't recognize any of the characters in there. Obviously, I've only seen a lot of the characters in this for 2 seconds at a time, so I'm not going to be good at recognizing the characters anyway. But it looks like these were just new characters. I don't know how it ties into the overall thing, but cool nonetheless. Pretty cool. All right, we are back to regular Sword Art Online, I think. This one... this is opening 8 V1. After this, I'll have opening 8 V3. I don't have V2. Whatever V2 is going to be, I don't have it. But it also, I think the subtitle is War of Underworld. So, yeah, let's check this one out. Okay, we're definitely back to the main characters. Oh, I think it's still Alicization. Aww. Got an eye patch, that girl. Alright, we're in the game because that bird just glitched out. Oh my god. I like that the visuals are constantly moving in these OPs. There's a lot to look at. I feel like I can't react fast enough. There we go, turning into their game characters. Whoa, she's got a dragon? Khaleesi, motherfucker. Cool sword fight. Whoa. Animation on that was cool. Cool. That was good. I mean, I think what I need to make clear is the animation on basically all of these have been very good. Like, I don't think there's been an OP where I've been like, the visuals were kind of boring there. I think they do have pretty consistently good animation in these. I, for some reason, expected that going into this show, so that's why I haven't really been reacting as much to how solid the animation looked. Who does Sword Art Online? Is it A1? A1 Pictures that does the anime? I'm not 100% sure, but in my mind it is. Sword Art Online Studio. If I do that, will it... yeah, A1 Pictures. Okay, yeah, I thought so. Because A1 Pictures do some good stuff, depending on, like, obviously who's working on it and stuff. But the top tier A1 Pictures shows are, like, top tier shows in anime in general. So their OPs being good looking doesn't surprise me. Anyway, that was version 1, so let's see version 3, see what's different, if it's a completely different OP, I don't know. Okay, same song. Okay, now let's see how many of these visuals I recognize. Okay, this is all the same so far. Glitching bird. Naked woman, I remember all this. Still all the same from what I remember. This is good because I get a chance to look at these visuals again properly. Yep, still the dragon. It might literally be like they added in one character or something. Wait, actually, that sword fight was different. I'm pretty sure. I think it was 2 dudes before. That might have been all that was different, honestly. Oh, you can see the real world. Okay, hang on. I think in that shot, it looks like you can see the real world reflected in the puddle here, which is very cool. That's a great detail there, and I didn't notice that the first time. I think maybe all that changed in that OP was that sword fight is are different people, and I don't know why you would change the OP for that unless you were trying to hide the fact that like those girls were going to be the ones fighting at this point, maybe because one of them was out of commission or they weren't working together, and they didn't want to reveal that they would be working together later in the series or something. I don't know. But I mean, I'm sure they had a reason. I'm a big believer in, I think anime should change their OPs more. What I mean, I don't mean change their OPs as in change the entire thing, but throughout the show, slowly change it, you know? Like, there are some shows, Tower of God, for example. This is the show that didn't change its OP, but I wish it did. Tower of God has an OP that is super vague, where like nothing happens in the OP. It's just weird shots of Balm like standing there or flying through the air or doing whatever, and it doesn't really show anything else. And I remember thinking when I first watched it, like, wow, this is a very bland OP, but like I was someone I'd read some of the original webtoon of Tower of God, so I knew that there was a lot of spoilers and stuff that you could give for the show. And so I was like, oh, but they're trying to avoid giving spoilers and they're trying to avoid showing too much. And I was like, that's kind of good. But what I think they should have done is, as things are shown in the show, the next time the OP is shown, have a little thing. So instead of having a weird shot of Balm lying on the ground, once you introduce, I forgot all of the names of every character in that show, but once you introduce like the green girl, then show her like slashing at someone with her sword thing in the OP. Once you reveal the crocodile guy and the white-haired guy, like have them holding Balm up and cheering or whatever, you know, stuff like that. Just because at that point you're not spoiling them anymore and you're adding to this cool OP and making it more colorful over time. I would have liked if they did something like that. And so if this OP, the only change is like one little fight because they didn't want to spoil something or something like that, then cool. But if there's more changes, let me know in the... I mean, I guess don't spoil it, but let me know that there are more changes and I shouldn't know because they're spoilers or something. I don't know. Anyway, we're doing opening 9. This one says opening 9 V1. Am I going to be watching another version? Yes, I'm going to be watching V2 after this. So this is the last OP, but then there's another version of this OP. I'm going to pay close attention to this OP. I'm going to memorize it, and then I'm going to notice the changes. Okay, here we go. Oh, I like this song. Okay. Oh, who does this song? I'm enjoying it. Is it Ima? I can't tell. I don't think so. I always like black and white with just some colors showing. That's cool. Alright. Man, we're focusing on more characters that I don't know. Oh. This is weird. Like, are we seeing real world stuff or... Wow, that transformation sequence of him changing into his game character is crazy. Nice. Well, it looks like the girl's fighting a lot in this show. Whoa, that's a cool design, that villain. Oh, I guess that's the headset that they put on, probably? I would imagine. Nerve gear. Yeah, probably. That's probably what they put on their heads. That's cool. Yeah, as I was saying, I'm glad the main girl, I'm seeing a lot of scenes of her fighting in these OPs, because I don't know, like, I feel like sometimes the main girl in shows like this gets put to the side in terms of fighting scenes, when I like seeing the main girl in these shows fight a lot. I want to see them fight as much as I see the dudes fight, you know? So it looks like she does do quite a bit of fighting, but maybe they're just doing that for the OPs, and then maybe in the show she's always getting defeated or something. I'm not sure. Anyway, I actually did a terrible job at memorizing what happened in that one, so I don't know if I'm going to notice the differences here with version 2, but let's give it a shot anyway. I'm going to try to pay more attention this time. So far it seems the same. More of that cool black and white with bits of color. I want to see this transformation sequence again. Where does it happen? It's here, right? Yeah. That's pretty fucking dope, that transformation. Whew. Whoa, hang on. Okay. The main character's glowing? Was he glowing before? I can't remember. And she had a... Okay, that end was different. She had a camera in her eye? I don't... So it zoomed in, and then it was like, there's a camera in her eye, and then we show the Earth, and then it says link start, and it's like, got a hand on the... I don't know what it means, but it's cool. That's a well-drawn hand. Very small thing, but that's just a very well-drawn hand. Cool, yeah, I mean, it didn't really change much until, I think, the end. I think nothing changed except from maybe the boss battle onwards, there was a couple changes, maybe? I'm not quite sure. Yuck, it's not something I'm great at. Okay, let's go to discussion. I had fun with those. I think those were pretty solid. There was some nice visuals. I mean, it's always nice watching good visuals in anime openings, right? It's always fun seeing just characters swinging their swords wildly at each other and flashes of lights and all that sort of stuff. It was cool. Like, I mean, some of these OPs looked pretty close to like Ufotable type OPs, which is a compliment because Ufotable makes some good OPs, you know, and they're always like super colorful and interesting. I think I use the term colorful a lot in these videos as a compliment because that's the kind of style that I like out of my OPs. I want to be able to see everything and I want the colors to all pop a lot. So when there's a OP that's like pretty dreary and they've got like, it looks like it's got a lot of grayscale over it and stuff, I don't like that as much in OPs. And it feels like Sword Art Online had a lot of color in a lot of these OPs, you know? So that was good to watch. It did make me kind of curious about certain parts of the show and kind of like where they take it. I don't know if it made me so curious that like I definitely want to watch this show to find out what these later OPs are like, because it feels like also the type of show that like it's a solid concept, but how can you keep it going? The only way you could keep it going is by sort of bringing up these extra threats that were never present in the first place, and maybe those extra threats aren't as interesting, but I'm not gonna judge it because I haven't seen it. So maybe it's great. And here's the thing, I think a lot of people would like could say like, oh yeah, it's very mediocre or whatever, and maybe they're right, but also like I'm the kind of guy, if you watch my videos on this channel, I'm pretty easily impressed, and I tend to look for the things that I like in shows rather than the things that I don't like. I think it's boring talking about stuff you don't like, and I think it actually just makes other people around you sad. So like, what's the point, you know? So instead, why not talk about the things that you do like about something? So I feel like if I did watch this show properly from the start and like really tried to dedicate myself to it, I would find stuff that I liked about it. I would find there are sections that I'm like, oh yeah, that was really good and that was really cool and stuff like that. So anyway, thank you for watching. I hope if you enjoyed my reaction, you can find other stuff on my channel that you'll also enjoy, because I got a lot of videos on here and my specialty really isn't in opening reactions. My specialty is in the videos that I do on shows themselves. So go check out some of my episode reactions, see if you like the way that I react to episodes, and maybe if you do, you can stick around for longer, and maybe if you extra like them, you can go to my Patreon account in the description below. That'll have full-length early access exclusive videos. I'm doing the Glory reactions on there right now, for example, and also I think you can join the VIP tier, which will let you request a reaction from me, and if you request it, I'll do it. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.